You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everybody. We are rewinding Week 9. Welcome in. I'm here with Jake, and our special guest of the week is George. He is back, baby.
I'm back.
Welcome back, George.
Yeah, Jake wasn't very happy when he heard that George was going to be on the show.
We'll get into that in a bit,
yeah, I guess. So, fresh off a big dub. Feels good, huh? Must be nice, not being on a 5-game losing streak. Incredible. I started 3-1, man. Happened.
That was tough.
All right. Let's get into it. We have a big matchup to start with. 220-98. Brandon absolutely destroyed Nick B. Call me Papa is his team name. He must play against you this week, George. He's prepping that because I see I see your face in here.
See, that's a big reason on why I even joined the podcast today. That way, if I lose, I can blame the podcast.
Oh, that's crazy work. So, yeah, this is actually a record-breaking matchup. It isn't top of anything, but it is going to be in the record books come the end of the season. I've cracked open the books because Brandon was curious as to what the most points ever scored was in this league. For the record, that was Nick Hoffman in 2014, 253 points.
Jeez.
The funny part about that, I went to look at that matchup to see who was on his team, and I saw he played against Josh Schultz at the time was in the league, and Josh had like 202 that week, and he lost. I thought that was the funniest thing. So anyways, yeah, go ahead.
I thought you were going to say that you were going to check, or Brandon was wondering if this was like the biggest blowout, and then I was going to say I'm pretty sure in the record book there was someone that didn't start their like a full lineup. So this would be like
yeah, I took those out though. I took those out.
Okay.
I did some work in the record book, so I went through matchups and basically said, if a team had a player projected for 0 points, if they had, I think my threshold was 2 players because every now and then a late inactive happens. I believe if it was 2 players or more that were projected for 0, then I invalidated some of the records that it could have broken. It counts for some things, but it doesn't count for everything.
Gotcha.
Just to get some legit records. Otherwise, there were seasons back in elementary school and all that, where people were starting, not a full roster every time. It wasn't taken as seriously as it is today.
Mm-hmm.
But
hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Isn't it a rule that we're like forced to now start a full roster?
It is now, yeah. But back in the day, we were like 10 years old, 12 years old. It's like it wasn't a buy-in league or anything like that. It wasn't a money league.
Right. I was curious though, because I'm like, I think when I first joined, I did that once or twice for like the draft spot. Yeah. But I think as of like, what was it, a few years ago? You like enforced it to where you can't do it anymore?
Yeah, this was a while ago. I might have even yelled at you for doing that.
Oh, well, that could have been it. Probably.
It's not as much of an issue the past couple of years, thankfully. Good work, everybody. But yeah, back in like high school and stuff, every now and then you wouldn't get somebody that would start a full team or something, and I'd have to message them and be like, start a full team, bitch.
It probably wouldn't happen too often anyway with 6 playoff teams.
Yeah.
Because there's usually a chance for somebody in last place to make it late in the season.
Yeah,
usually.
Well, back in the day it was only 4.
That would be a little different, I guess.
So anyways, the records. So Brandon finished 6th place in 2 records with this matchup. One of them, Jake, you touched on, was the largest margin of victory. He slots in at like 121 or something like that when I did the math. So that puts him at 6th. Right behind me against Nick B. Get dub, Nick. And then also 6th place on the most points scored in a single week. That'll actually boot me out of the the top 10. I display the top 10 records in each stat, so that will boom me out of the top 10, which is a bummer. But yeah, deserved. Good, incredible matchup from Brandon. It's honestly kind of crazy to me that how complete it is. It's not like on most of these teams who put up crazy 200 plus points, they have somebody on their team that scored 50, and then everybody else was good. And Brandon's just like, yeah, everybody's like 25 plus, easy. And his bench was crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. Cortland Sutton, Cade Otton was a dog. Yeah, I mean, everybody lit it up, man. Only one single-digit player on his entire roster, and it was Christian Watson with 8.7. Kind of bonkers. So, kudos there. It was his week, that's for sure. Tough to match up against that. Not that Nick was really beating anybody with 98. So at least Nick didn't put up like 180 or something, where you're really pissed off about it. Kyler didn't do him any favors, and Drake London, I think, got hurt after he caught that touchdown.
He did, yeah.
And everybody else was, fine, right? Good. A couple of guys good. Running backs, let's go. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, not a ton to talk about. Anthony Richardson got perma-benched. I guess that's something to talk about. So I was wrong about him. That's pain. No! Good thing I didn't draft him literally anywhere. For as much as I was hyping him up in the offseason, I never actually drafted him anywhere.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the Chiefs game, but I heard that Mahomes got injured, so it was possible.
Did he?
It was very possible.
Oh yeah, really late, serious, right? I think it was late.
Yeah, I just got the notification, but if Mahomes would have went down the same week Anthony Richardson is announced, that would have been, oh my God.
Poetic. It would have been close, actually. Mahomes, I'm sure, outscores Richardson on the year, right? But in a points per game basis, it might have been kind of close.
Yeah.
Mahomes, I'm sure, would have had him beat because he's more in like the 15-point range, 15 to 20. Richardson was kind of in the 10-point range.
Adjusted for draft where they were being drafted, though.
That's fair. Yeah. So, anywho, yeah, I mean, this was just a big summer blowout, as the kids say. I got nothing else here. This is a beatdown in every sense of the word.
Yeah, I got really nothing else, but this was a matchup that I thought would have been like the matchup of the week. It was if Nick lost. We talked about this last week. If Nick V's team lost this week, it's looking really dormant.
Yeah.
And at least he didn't. Well, I was about to say at least he didn't lose close. That to like really regret it, but he just got just obliterated in this one. Nothing you can do really.
Yeah, I mean, you just take your L and you move on.
Yeah.
Fair play. All right. Next matchup. I think it's Cade. Yeah, 153 to 87. I mean, this doesn't seem nearly as bad as Brandon's matchup, but holy man, is this still a bad one? He just didn't put up 220 points. Saquon and JSN had his legacy game. I think Cade put in the group chat during the game.
He did.
Yeah, I think he had a 50-something yarder for a touchdown, get called back on a penalty or something like that too. So it could have been even bigger. This could have been an all-timer for him. Kind of crazy. And the difference between Cade's team and Brandon's team, right, is Brandon didn't have anybody with sevens. Cade had half his team with sevens, but he had some booms, right? JSN, Saquon, and even Josh Allen, I guess. So, on Preston's side, I mean, everybody just kind of stunk, generally speaking. Mixon was pretty solid. Terry was okay. Everybody else, you're probably disappointed in. I guess Justin Tucker, right? But who cares? CJ Stroud, I told you not to start him, Preston. I picked Preston to win, contingent on him benching CJ Stroud for Matt Stafford. And I think, I don't even remember. We tell him to bench Devontae Adams. We might have. Stroud was the big one.
Off the top of my head, but I mean, we talked about how Puka was insane, and then he only had 2 points. So
yeah, well, it's not. Yeah, he did throw a punch in that game and get ejected like immediately after he caught that ball. So
I totally forgot about that. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I remember the exact play now. That makes sense. Gotcha.
So
but yeah,
that's why Puka only had one. So
we might have said something like bench Devontae, and if you regret it, you feel really great going forward, something like that.
That could be, yeah. Because I know we were talking, JT, Josh Jacobs, and Joe Mixon, and you're not benching any of those guys. And Puka and Terry are in there, so yeah. I think Devontae had a bad. He's been having bad weeks, so we probably told him to bench Devontae. And like you said, if he has a good week, well, nice. You can start him next week. Congratulations. Oh, anywho, yeah. Preston's team stinks, and Cade's team is good. That's all I got here. Oh, Godwin and Collins for being hurt too, because Jason definitely does not crack his lineup if those guys aren't out.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right. Next up, we have the game here. We got the match. Jake and George.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll let George go. I'll let George go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. George, lead us off.
Ooh, I don't even know where to start. It's like I need to get the training wheels back out for Jake.
Maybe it starts with the gritty.
Oh, 100%.
Justin
your daddy,
Jefferson,
Jake.
baby.
Oh man.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, 25
Pain.
points. Lamar Jackson continuing his. I mean, is he the MVP favorite at this point in Vegas? He's a fantasy MVP, that's for sure, and he's been playing well. It's funny because I look at your team, George, and it was fine, right? Ramondre had a big game, 2 touchdowns, good to see. And besides J. Jeff and Lamar, everybody else was kind of mid, debatably bad. I guess LA's defense dropped 21. That's kind of huge. They were feasting on Jameis Winston, 3 picks in that game. Classic.
Oh my god.
This is more just an L for Jake than it is a dub for you. I mean, 143 is a good score, don't get me wrong, but 98.5.
I at this point don't even know what's worse, starting all of the Browns and taking Brandon's advice.
What was it, Jake? Was it Code Brown? Was that the team name that you rolled?
It was Brown syndrome.
Brown syndrome. That's what it was. Brown syndrome.
I was
That's
really
a good name.
Feeling good about this. Thank you. I did. Yeah, I felt really good about the Browns. I mean, look, Cedric Tillman. I was hyping up last week. He ended up getting some garbage time. Like I don't know. This must have been like the last drive he got those points because I was watching it and none of them were doing anything. So yeah, it had to be garbage time. Honestly, this matchup, I think it was somewhat close until I want to say maybe like 2:00 p.m. Like it wasn't actually close.
Yeah.
After that, I think Jefferson and Lamar started. The second halves were doing better. But
Browns game must have been torture for you, dude.
It was absolute torture.
Playing against
Jameis was negative for like the whole first half.
Interception. Oh, that's -2 for you, +2. That's a 4-point swing for every pick. You lost 12 points on picks alone.
And honestly, after the first pick, or I think the first couple possessions were ended by like a sack, like a 3-and-out, maybe a sack on 3rd down, something like that. And I was like, I can see Jameis with some negative points. He'll rebound at some point. He's going to keep passing the ball. He's not afraid. He had the 30 for 30 season. We're going to be all right. And the clock just ran out. We couldn't get anything from the Browns. If we did, this week actually would have been all right. Mark Andrews was the only one that really disappointed.
Yeah, baby, he's back. He's back. Let's go.
You know what I will say? I think it was just because of this game. Look at the score.
Yeah, you take it easy, Jake. That's just an excuse.
You don't need it.
Baltimore.
You just don't need a tight end in a 41.
Baltimore does that to teams. They're one of the best teams in the league, man. They have 3 losses, and they're the good. Maybe not that good of teams. They lost to the Browns, but they put up 40 plus.
Team.
They do that.
They're a good team. Yeah. Well, you'll see my matchup next week. I've got a different tight end already. Lined up there. So.
No way are you starting Isaiah Likely. Oh, you picked up. Yeah, I remember. You picked somebody up. Yeah. That was a good pickup, by the way. I can't believe he was out there, in all honesty.
Thank you. Yeah, it's totally worth it this year with the tight ends to just grab another one. Why not?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But yeah, this matchup. Yeah, George. I was just outclassed. I didn't need the Los Angeles Chargers defense.
The managerial skills.
21 against me. Simply. I mean, it was tough to I actually was laughing looking at the matchups. I wanted to screenshot Jameis, Cedric Tillman, and Elijah Moore directly matched up against Lamar, AJ Brown, and Justin Jefferson. Actually, I go further down you have Brees. You have a good team for sure. But
yeah, just the first 3 on your roster is funny.
I did absolutely think I could compete in this one.
Brandon gaslit the shit
No.
out of you, which is great. And the funny part is that we both totally believed in it too. we
I
were
100%
sold
believed
on
in
it. And to be fair, I still think it might have been the right play because, and we said that on the show, right? If the Browns stink, you're dead. But if you're gonna
Look at
start,
Caleb Williams and Jordan Love.
if you're gonna start
That's all
Tillman
I'm
and
saying.
Moore, which you're gonna do anyways, then you might as well pick up Winston because if they stink, you're dead anyways. But if Jameis pops off, then you win. And that is,
Yeah.
I still
I
think
would have
that's the
won for
ticket
sure.
because it's not like
Yeah,
anybody in
2
your bench
touchdowns.
is doing work here.
If he throws 2 touchdowns, both to the
One of those guys.
one to each of my receivers.
Yeah. It's a close game.
There we go, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at the bench. Jaden Reed didn't have many points till the second half.
Yeah.
Bad
game.
I couldn't have started Caleb Williams or Jordan Love.
Nope.
Unfortunately, Jordan Love now it's such a tough situation.
Yeah, he's dealing with that injury.
Such
Well,
a tough
Detroit's such a good
situation.
defense too. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully he can get healthy with the bye week. The Bears defense is no joke. Yeah, his schedule's pretty tough rest of the season.
Yeah, I saw the next 4 or 5 games for sure.
You might be rolling with famous Jameis.
We'll see.
Oh, he's on bye this week too? Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I picked up another quarterback.
What, you're telling me you don't want to start Caleb Williams against the Patriots? Back-to-back single-digit weeks?
He already underperformed against the other rookie quarterback from his class, and Jane Daniels. So maybe he'll do that against Drake May. No, I don't know. But
Jake, if you consider the decimal points, he had triple-digit weeks back-to-back.
Oh, yes, dude.
Okay, well, the last thing I have to say is Rico Dowdle looks good.
He does. Did you see that catch he caught for the touchdown? The circus catch where he bobbled it and fell over and then still caught it. I thought that was really funny.
I did see that.
So,
yeah.
Also, speaking of circus catches, I guess we didn't talk about it, but Saquon on Cade's team. Did you guys see the reverse hurdle? The backwards hurdle. That was crazy.
I saw the view from the sideline where you get to see all the players.
Oh, that must have been awesome.
Yeah, they all just half of them turned around and hands on the head because that was insane.
Yeah, if you guys haven't
seen anything like that.
If anybody listening hasn't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. It's crazy. You'll enjoy it.
You would think saying that he backwards hurdled someone, you'd think it's not what you're picturing, but it is what you're picturing.
Yeah, it's true. So
he got up there.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a great game from George. I think this really just proves that he's a better manager, a better GM.
Oh, 100%.
Yes,
100%, he says. I love it. Let's go. George owns Jake once again. Call me daddy, he says.
He covered the 22-point spread. He did.
Yeah, baby. The 200 points. Yeah, what were the projections?
22 points.
He did.
22 points.
22. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
We should start doing that. Does he cover the spread? I like that. That's funny.
I think my team's been covering the spread all year because I've been projected nothing.
We could have had rules for that next year. If this league was fun, we'd have side bets on covering the spread.
Maybe the tiebreaker instead of points for is covering the spread that season. Yeah,
that would actually be hilarious. How many times you've beaten the spread?
Yeah, I like it.
That's good stuff. All right, let's move on. I think next matchup we've got Lemons and Lane. I think this one we can probably keep pretty short and sweet. Lemon started Dontavian Bricks. He had a goose. Benched Joe Burrow, who had 40 points. He was the top scoring quarterback. Spoiler alert. It doesn't matter. I mean, sure, if he starts Burrow and Quentin Johnston, he wins, but I get why you didn't start. See, Dontavian Wicks, not good, right? I don't blame a guy for starting him when the other option is Quentin Johnston, who lately, hadn't played a couple weeks, and then before that was generally not good. So kind of hard first week back from injury to predict something like that. Joe Burrow, in my opinion, was a lot more of an obvious play. I'd be playing Joe Burrow rest of the season, basically matchup independent. Even though Patrick Mahomes had his best game of the year, 26 points. First time getting over 25 for him this year. Tampa Bay's defense will do that to him. Plus, Travis Kelce had a couple touchdowns, and Hopkins, I think, had a couple touchdowns. I think he had
at least
two.
one.
Yeah, at least
he
one.
Might have had two. I don't know. I didn't watch.
Oh, you know what? Maybe Kelce only had one. There weren't that many touchdowns in the game. Kareem Hunt had one, so I don't know. Anyways, both Kelce and Hopkins had at least one, and between the two, I think there were three. So Tyreek Hill was kind of mid. You're kind of hoping he bounces back soon, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. Buffalo's a pretty good defense, but at least it's better than it's been, right? He's double digits. His floor is back. Eckler was good. Moser, Hawkinson first week back. Hard to blame the guy. Kareem Hunt's good game. Kareem Hunt, you're starting rest of the season. He's a stud rest of the season, I think. A 2 with upside, maybe even a low 1. Lane side of the ball, Jared Goff, bad. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, playing in the rain, it's tough, but Jared Goff is so, yeah, I'll give you 30, 35, or I'll give you 10, 15. Kind of weird. For the most part, it's actually just 10, 15. If I was Lane, I'd be totally trying to find somebody else to start over Jared Goff. And no, his name is not Trevor Lawrence. 2 interceptions. Wait, was that a 2-point conversion? I saw, hell yeah. 2-point conversions? Let's go, T-Law. Red zone monster. Lane benched Hopkins. Yeah. I mean, well, now you know, I guess, right? You can play him every week rest season, probably over Josh Downs, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you're starting Downs over Devonta Smith. I don't know. Devonta Smith's probably that guy. I think A.J. Brown got knocked out of that game, though, and Devonta Smith didn't do much until after that. But whatever. It'll work. Derrick Henry scored another touchdown this week. He had 2, but he scored every game this year. Safest bet you can probably make in Vegas. I think Brandon said his underdog multiplier was like 0.7 to score a touchdown or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous that you bet $1 and you get 70 cents back if he scores a touchdown. Right? Well, you make 70, right? Yeah. Back in my day, basically any other player in the league, if you're taking anytime touchdown, it's 1-to-1 odds for the most part. I mean, jeez, kind of crazy. Everybody else stinks. So, all right, cool, good matchup. Lane wins. Lemons loses. Sounds about right. Everybody got that one right in our pick'em last week. Jake, you're gonna be sad to hear this, but Brandon was perfect. 5 for 5. Because yeah, matchup of the week, I guess. It was a 15-point game. I mean, it was a little sweaty at the end. In all honesty, I don't know. Greg probably pay attention. I doubt anybody else did. It went into Monday night, and I was up by like, I don't know, 6 or 8 or something like that. And Greg had Baker. Baker had like 2 points at halftime. So he got those 2 touchdowns. Once he scored his first touchdown, it was over. But he got those 2 touchdowns in the end and had a pretty okay fantasy day. But he had like 2, maybe 3 points for a good chunk of the game, and I was like, wow, you're saying there's a chance? Because I know I talked about how if it were me, I would have benched Baker. His other quarterbacks did about the same, so I guess it ended up panning out. But yeah, if I was Greg, I might have been sweating a little bit until that touchdown because Chiefs are kind of shutting that game down. Other than that, I mean, nothing crazy on my side. Kamara had a big game. Chuba was good. Supposedly Jonathan Brooks is going to be back, but I don't know how worried I am about that. The real killer is Olave getting sandwiched and concussed. I don't know if anybody saw that play. That was
a hospital pass.
Yeah, it was a huge hospital pass. Derek Carr lobs one up on a big midfield crosser. He goes up and just gets sandwiched between 2 guys, gets absolutely destroyed. I believe they took him straight to the hospital. He was cleared and supposedly was in the locker room by the time the game ended to meet with the team and all that. So that's good to hear. I saw a report today that said concussion obviously, and he's meeting with a specialist, I guess, to determine whether or not he's going to go on IR. So don't expect Olave this week, obviously, and potentially rest of the season. I mean, he could be done for this year. Anywhere in between.
Yeah, he could be.
There's no timetable on him this year. It's because this is his second concussion this year for sure. Because he had one like week 6, I think. I think this is number 4 for him. In the NFL, one of those could be a late college, but I was doing some reading on that, and yeah, he's definitely had his fair share of concussions. They're not talked about as much as Tua's, so I guess we'll see what happens there. But he's gonna miss at least 2 weeks. I would say 3 to 4 if it were me. Maybe longer. Marvin Harrison continues to be really inconsistent. Even if Olave played that game and had a solid week, it would have been close, but I think I would have needed a little more help from Marvin. I don't know. It's fine. Took the L, but generally speaking, the team was pretty solid. So I don't know. I'll have to find a replacement for Olave because Evans is also out. Thielen's designated to return, but I don't know if I even want to start him. Xavier Legette can play if Thielen's out, and I don't know. It's probably Khalil Shakir, honestly. Who knows? My team stinks. I'm dead, boys. Hit me up if anybody wants to make some trades. Especially you, George. I know you like what I have to offer.
Nah.
Jane Daniels on the block?
Probably not. I'll probably keep him. I mean, everybody's negotiable, right? But he's gonna be what, a 10th round keeper. Yeah, I'll probably keep him. I think I'm probably gonna be keeping him.
Kyron.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep a running back, honestly, because Kyron was a first round pick, and he'd be the one I'd keep if there'd be one. But I guess it would depend on if the Rams add anybody. I would kind of expect them to, personally. I was going to say Mike Evans because he was, playing pretty well, and I got him in the 8th. But I don't know.
Wouldn't it go to PPR, though? Like where he's ranked?
Oh, yeah, I kept him last year. Yeah, you're right. Right. Yeah, I guess it's Jaden Daniels. And maybe it's just Kyron and Kamara. Yes, 4th round pick, Alvin Kamara. It's probably the running backs.
Sounds like you're looking to trade for another keeper that's hurt.
Nope. Kyron, Kamara, Jaden Daniels. That's what I got. Everybody else, I don't know, chopping block. I mean, you can still trade for those guys, but I'm going to want somebody either keepable or a good pick. I mean, obviously, those guys are. Kamara and Kyron are both worth 1st round picks, maybe more. They're top 5 running backs in their position. So, anywho, enough posturing for trades, I guess. Hit me up. We'll talk. I know I've already had.
Jaden Daniels. I've been looking at quarterbacks all year on the waiver wire. I thought that might be a fun idea.
I'm okay parting ways with Jaden Daniels. Quarterbacks are quarterbacks, right? But obviously, he's not a 1st round pick guy. But
no.
But I'm saying he'd probably be my 3rd keeper. So it's not like he's gonna be, give me a 8th round pick or anything like that, right? It's gonna be more than that. Especially because Dak's on my bench and he's out multiple weeks, it sounds like.
Fair enough.
All right. Standings. George, you're on top, buddy. Congrats. You have Cade beat out by 2 fantasy points for the tiebreaker.
Dude, I was doing the math on that. I wanted to stay above that guy for a bit.
Yeah, honestly, big for you. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Cade, 7-2 as well. Ton of 6-3 teams. Greg, Lane, and Jake. Brandon's 4-5. I'm 3-6 on a big 5-game skid. And then we have our 2-7 teams pulling up the rear. Only one of those teams is good. Pain for Nick B, man. He doesn't deserve this. I mean, don't get me wrong. His team's not great or anything, but I don't know. 2-7 seems a little harsh. He has 12-33 against him.
He's got more points.
So many points against. He leads the league. It's a fine team, it doesn't. Well, he has McCaffrey back, right? Doesn't he have McCaffrey? Yeah.
I think McCaffrey's activated this week, I want to say.
I heard that he's going to play.
Yes, that's big.
Limited in practice. Great way to start the week, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, you're just praying that he doesn't get hurt again and you're good to go because that'd be huge for Nick. Especially because he plays Lemons this week and that's a must-win. I played Jake this week, which is also a must-win and easy win.
That is a huge game.
Easy win. Don't even get. You know what the funny thing is, Jake? So, I want to make a league announcement quick. Hopefully, dead in the middle of the show and everybody listens, right? Trade deadline is Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, the 16th. November 16th is the trade deadline for the league. So you got one more week of fantasy matchups, and then, that's it. So make sure if you're going to do any wheeling and dealing that you are getting it done by the 16th. All right, announcement done. I might make a post in the group chat too, just so everybody can see it, because I know not everybody listens.
Yeah.
So. All right. What do we got going on next? Transactions. I don't think there was very much going on this week. So waivers. Brandon got the Rams. I got a kicker. Okay, you got a defense. Jake, you got Mike Gesicki. That's been, Aaron Rodgers. He's been okay the past couple weeks, and Arizona's a bad defense. So yeah, I mean,
it's worth a shot over who I've got. A couple guys on bye.
I can't blame you.
I've got Caleb Williams, who hasn't done. I think that Rodgers gives me more upside this week.
Caleb Williams is trash. Joe Flacco will be starting over him too.
I think Joe Flacco is actually a very elite quarterback.
So, all right. Yeah, the Mike Gesicki pickup was big because now 32 points last week. Incredible, right? 5 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns is hilarious for a big guy like him. The only thing I will say about Mike Gesicki, which should be fine for this week, because they play on Thursday, he's only playable, in my opinion, if T. Higgins is out. And/or
Which looks like he's going to be out.
Correct. It does look like T. Higgins is going to miss again this Thursday because of the short week. So he'll be a great start this week. You're probably not going to be able to rely on him after that, unless there's either Higgins or Chase miss time, right? Because if both those guys are playing, Gesicki's an afterthought. And you get stuff like this, 0.15, 0, 1.2, right? You get the Mark Andrews treatment from when I had him. But you get the Mark Andrews treatment from when Jake has him when one of those guys is out. So, good stuff. All right, that was it for transactions. Short and sweet. I guess we have previews and we're on to the roasts. So, league... First matchup, me versus Jake. Touch on it a little bit. I'm playing against you and you, Mike Gesicki. How is it being projected for 6 points? Is kind of a crime. Yeah. He's gonna.
It's got to be not updated yet.
He'll get you double digits. Yeah, they might need to confirm that T. Higgins is out, I guess, because he is questionable. I'm sure.
They will bump that up to 7.67.
I'm gonna go 8.25. They're gonna give him an extra 2 points.
Okay.
Based on last week.
We'll keep an eye.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Make your wagers. CeeDee Lamb, questionable. I heard CeeDee's not going to play.
It's a bad spot right now.
Yeah.
I was looking at my lineup. Dak's not going to play, so...
Yeah, I forgot all the Browns are on bye. Your team is dead, Jake. All the Browns.
The Browns and the Packers.
Whatever will you do?
That's why I laughed when he said, "Oh no, I played Mike Gesicki." I'm like looking at my team, like, okay, you don't have to play all of these guys, and I have to play against the roster that's projected 15 more than me. So that's why I laughed a little bit there.
But, but to be fair, you've overcome much larger projections than 116 point nice.
It's very true. Yeah, point nice.
Yeah.
You're lucky you don't have to play against Cedric Tillman this week. It's all
I'm thinking. Actually, kind of true. He's been kind of lighting it up. Yeah. That's the only Browns player that I'm afraid of. Like, start Jameis. I don't care. He's either going to score 40 points or -5. I don't. If I lose, I lose, and if I win, well, it's because of Jameis. So, yeah, Rodgers is a good start. CD, obviously if he plays, he's in, but I don't think he's going to play. And honestly, you might not want him to play at the end of the day, because if he plays banged up like this with that AC joint, he might just get you 2 points or be a decoy the entire. You know what I mean? It's interesting. Big for Jake Ferguson though if he doesn't play. So.
Yeah,
free JMO. You're starting JMO. I guess you have to.
I look at my.
You are
if
so.
If he goes down, I have to pick somebody up.
You are so lucky that his suspension got. Didn't they say it got lifted? Or am I thinking of the wrong? Yeah, it was lifted on Monday.
Yes, but they already announced that it was going to be 2 games.
So okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just his 2 games are up.
So
you are so down bad if you have to start him first game back.
Get to start him.
Get to start him.
If the thing is, though, is This would
He's
have
gonna
been
put up
this
20
is one of my
points.
favorite games. This is the game that I was looking forward to because I've got a lot of Texans in a lot of leagues, and I've got a lot of the Lions. So this Sunday night football game, I was pumped about. And then
I could totally see
everywhere,
that
like
being an
CJ
absolute
Stroud hasn't been
stinker.
great. Stephon Diggs going down has just killed the morale on this team. If I'm being honest.
True. Yeah, you're in big wide receiver trouble. You can trade for Mike Evans if you want. It's not gonna help you this week, but
we'll see.
Yeah, hit me up. I've already had a couple messages about him. Rico Dowdle, stud. Najee has been pretty good in all honesty, and Washington's not a great defense. Yeah, I mean everybody else in your team is fine. It's just the wide receiver situation, really.
Yeah.
My side is also the wide receiver situation. Marvin Harrison, I really don't want to play him against the Jets, but I don't really have another option because I don't think Xavier Legette's going to be that guy. You know what? Maybe he is that guy. I just can't. I can't do it. So it's going to be Marvin and probably Khalil Shakir because he's been pretty solid this year. Double digits for the most part. Has a big game every now and then, but generally speaking, he gets the job done. Running backs are my strong suit. Chuba might hit the bench for Dobbins. That's my big decision of the week. I got to figure out what I'm going to do there because I'd rather start a guy against the Giants, but with Brooks back, part of me wants to kind of wait and see, and another part of me says Chuba's still going to be the guy because Chuba's been really good. So we'll see how that goes, but I got your Detroit defense against the Texans, so big for me.
Yeah, it's pretty big actually.
All right. Well, I got myself. I'm sure you have yourself.
I do.
George?
Yeah. I got Bryant. Sorry, Jake. Your team
was a trash show. Baby.
Oh, man. Did not see that one coming.
Hey, I will give you respect, though. I think you're the first one to start Rodgers in, 2 years?
I started him on week 2 also.
Well,
yeah.
No. I'm taking back. Trash show is I got Bryant.
God damn it.
What did he say?
Yeah. Say it again, George.
Oh, was he talking shit to you?
Yeah, I was taking back my props. Called this team trash show.
You said respect for starting.
Yeah.
They said actually I started him earlier this year, and he said the respect's gone.
The respect. Okay. I get it now. All right, we're good. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers does appeal to George's fantasies, so fair enough.
Oh my gosh, they just upgraded Mike Gesicki's projection line.
Did they?
Closer.
Let's go. Wait. Oh, it's not updated for me. What is it?
It is 10.03.
No way.
10.03. I think that's fine, but I didn't think they were going to be that.
Yeah,
generous.
I mean, I agree. That's totally fine, but like, that's really high. That's higher than I expected. Usually Yahoo isn't that reactionary. That must confirm that Higgins is out, I guess.
Yeah, he switched to doubtful.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, next matchup, George and Brandon. Ooh, hey, this is a big one for you, George, because Brandon's team is really nice, and it's just coming off a 220-point week. So does he get that slump from celebration? Does his team have the hangover?
He's gonna get that doom, bro. He's about to find out who Daddy is.
All right. I mean, he's already chatting shit with his picture.
I'll get something smart. Don't you worry. Daddy is coming.
Daddy is what?
Oh my lord.
Yeah, so Garrett Wilson's been on a tear ever since Devontae came to town, which is kind of funny. Zay Flowers has been great lately. Everybody on Brandon's team has been fantastic lately. Cooper Kupp's been okay, I guess. Oh, I take that back. He was fantastic last week. Apologies. So, I guess because Puka. So my understanding is Puka's missing this week too, right? He got a 1-game suspension. Is that the case? George, Jake.
I don't have that, but I'm sure that's the case if he was punching somebody.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
I'll vet that quick. Puka. Oh no. I guess
no suspension.
I guess that was just his suspension. He should be available week 10. Okay, so Puka should be back. This will be Kupp and Puka's first real game together. Because the first week they were back, Puka didn't really play. Granted, he had a big fantasy week, but he played 20 snaps, and last week he didn't really play. So we'll see what happens with Kupp there, but obviously you're not super worried. And if history is to show over the past few weeks, Brandon's bench is going to pop off just as much. Cade Otton is a great start. If anybody's really tight end needy, he'd be a good trade target. Jake, that might be you, man. Not gonna lie.
I've got some.
Yes.
I keep picking up different tight ends.
It says I've got some. Do you start Mark Andrews and Mike Gesicki?
We are chilling at the tight end position. Don't you worry.
All right. Meanwhile, George has T. McBee. What a dog. No, he's just been okay this year, but he's been good enough. Good enough to not want to replace him, but not good enough that you're super excited, I guess. Justin Jefferson's that guy. Lamar's that guy. Zay Flowers, every point Zay Flowers gets, Lamar's getting some too. So that's big. A.J. Brown, I don't know if A.J. Brown's going to play, but they have the inverse going on there. They have like the inverse stacks. Zay Flowers and Lamar and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. George, you might want to make a Zay Flowers, A.J. Brown swapsy.
No.
Yeah, probably. Definitely not 1-for-1. So he missed the second half of the game. He did an MRI. It's a minor issue. He's day to day, so he may or may not play. If he plays, you're starting him, obviously, especially with your roster. You don't have a ton of other options because T. Higgins is going to miss. So Juwan Jennings is a great start. I'm a big fan of that, assuming he plays. He's in my lineup every week with Ayuk out. That's kind of it for players. I don't think there's any big start-sit decisions here. I mean, obviously, Brandon's bench is loaded, but realistically, this starting lineup that he has is what he wants, right? Could Zay Flowers and Garrett Wilson lay eggs and Mooney and Ridley put up big games? Yeah, absolutely. But I think what he has right now is his de facto, quote-unquote, correct lineup, and if something else happens, well, I guess you're just sad about it. And George has fewer options, obviously, but I think it's still a great starting lineup. It's tough, man. I want to go George really badly, but I don't think I can. I don't know. If Garrett Wilson and Zay Flowers have good games, then Brandon wins. Because Achan's a stud. Kelsey's a stud. Yeah. Brandon's team should win this, but Brandon's team could totally lose this because it's Brandon's team. Jake, I want to hear your perspective. Are you going Brandon here?
I'm the opposite of you, where I was kind of tempted to go Brandon, but I like George's team here, actually.
Oh. Okay, you pick one and I'll do the other then.
I think, Lamar, you would think. I'm already arguing against myself. Yeah. It's a Thursday game.
It is a Thursday game.
So already my argument's gone. But I think this game versus the Bengals, this could be another pop-off game for Lamar.
I mean, Lamar pops off every week, so fair enough.
Yeah, it's just an average game for Lamar.
If he doesn't, then Zay Flowers probably has a bad game, so bounces out.
I think this T. Higgins injury is going to be a blessing in disguise that you don't have to start him this week.
Honestly, fair.
All right.
I think Juwan Jennings is a better start than T. Higgins this week if T. Higgins plays, so I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Because T. Higgins is great, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. Thursday night games are tough, and Baltimore's going to light them up. You're saying, Jake? Is that what I'm hearing here?
I think so.
You got Jake? Or you got George?
I like all the matchups. Yes, I have George.
Right.
I don't know. I'm looking over, I'm seeing Cooper Kupp playing against the Dolphins. I don't know if that's going to. That just
don't care.
It feels like that's a cool match. It feels like that's a cool match, but I don't think it's actually going to be very high scoring.
That's fair. And it's Monday night, too, so it's going to be high stress.
Yeah.
George, I hope you're ready to sweat it out on Monday.
Oh, I probably will, man. Probably will.
So, George, I assume you have yourself, Daddy.
Yep, 100%. Unless Breece Hall takes another shitter, that dude has been freaking something. But
yeah, Arizona's
gotta
a
have
good
faith in the
matchup.
boys.
Yeah, if he doesn't cook against Arizona, you might have a problem. You might have to trade him.
I will say, I think if Breece Hall doesn't cook, I don't know if Garrett Wilson can. I don't see a worry that Breece Hall gets nothing and Garrett Wilson pops off, because I think if
I disagree,
Garrett Wilson's
Jake.
popping off, I think they're up, and then Breece Hall is getting a lot of points.
Based on the past 2 weeks, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree because Brees Hall stunk the past 2 weeks and Garrett Wilson was a stud the past 2 weeks.
I just against Arizona, I think.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Right. If Brees Hall stinks up against Arizona, it probably means the Jets aren't scoring any points.
That's how I see it.
Maybe it's the Devontae Adams game.
Maybe all games are Devontae Adams games now.
Oh, oops, all Devontae. All right, I'm gonna go Brandon then. I'm gonna back him. I think sorry George, but I think his team is the best in the league and will probably heat up.
You know what? I'm retaking back my pick for you, Jake. You got my support.
I already wrote it.
I got you, Jake.
I'm not changing it.
He changed it to me.
I already wrote it.
That's actually such a blessing that the guest picked me. That's such a good.
Yeah, the guest has been outscoring the shit out of us. It's actually the guess is a very nice 69% on the year, and Jake, you're 58 and I'm 49. Like we're like 10% off from each other.
I think we're more obligated to pick ourselves than the guests are.
That's actually true. That is fair.
Have the guests always picked themselves? They might have, but I don't think they did.
I think they have. If anybody didn't, it would have been Preston because his team is trash, but I'm guessing he probably picked himself.
We also do always pick guests that win, so maybe their teams are getting hot at the right time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I'm trying to make excuses for our percentages.
All right, George. I'll switch yours. To Jake. You know, if you want to be wrong, that's fine. All right. Next matchup, Preston and Greg. This one should be pretty quick. Preston's team is bad. Greg's team is good. Actually, not. Projections say otherwise. Josh Jacobs is on bye. Mantha is only projected to lose by 11. Does Preston have an option? No. Actually, I guess it was JT, right? You throw JT in there, and then you chuck one of these wide receivers in. It's Devontae Adams, and you're hoping for Devontae Adams week. So, yes, Preston does have an option. Good for you, man. CJ Stroud, bench him. Oh, man. But Matt Stafford actually has a hard matchup this week. See, last week was I'm still benching him for Stafford. But I'm a lot more scared. Waiver wire is a potential, but I think I'm starting Stafford over Stroud.
Well, just because he also doesn't have a defense started currently.
Oh, true.
So the projection's a little off. Once you throw Devontae in there, and then the defense.
He doesn't have a defense on his roster, so the defense he's getting probably isn't going to be that great because we've already picked through him. Anti-slacking on the waivers, man. Oh, classic. That's a recipe for an L right there. I'm going to go Greg just on that fact. Although Baker, he banged up. Did he get hurt in that game? Tending to the toe issue. Yeah, I mean, you can maybe start Sam Darnold this week. You can definitely start Sam Darnold this week. Whether or not I'd start him over Baker, I don't. Baker's been so good. I mean, against the Chiefs even 20 points, right? And the Chiefs are the top defense, so that's tough. Greg will probably start Baker because you got to go with the guy that gets you there, I guess. But Jamar Chase, Tank Dell, all these guys. I'm probably not starting anybody on my bench over them. Deontay's on my bench until he proves that he's competent with Baltimore because that's not a very high volume passing offense. Maybe Michael Pittman sneaks in, but I wouldn't. Yeah. Mantha's team is better. How are you not starting Stafford with Puka, dude? The stack. Man, Mantha pisses me off. I'm going Greg.
Well, yeah. So first of all, I agree with you with the Stafford thing because not only has Stroud been consistently not great this whole year, not playing as good as he's supposed to, but every time he's playing a good defense, there's just nothing there.
His splits are horrible.
I watched him play into the Vikings. He literally did nothing until the second half. He got some garbage time with Diggs, who's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know this. Even though Detroit's had a couple guys, they're gonna have Brian Branch back this week, who was kicked out of the game instantly.
Yeah,
they got Zadarius Smith. They just picked like this. I don't think you start CJ Stroud this week.
No, you can't. It's Stafford, and it's not close for me. So, are you saying you have Greg, or are you saying you have Preston?
I'm gonna take Greg. I don't even really love
Greg's team kind of stinks too. That's the problem. Both these teams are.
Yeah.
I think this could be a stinker of a matchup here, which is funny because now they're both going to probably put up 140 and outscore me.
I've got Greg's team though.
All right, George.
So I'm gonna also go Greg, but I wouldn't be surprised if Preston team wins.
Preston team is going to be projected to win. It will be.
Yeah,
but
he's just got better names on his team, man.
He does.
Other than Chase and Gibbs, but Gibbs splits the workload.
Yeah, I mean, you have Gibbs weeks, and then you have 15-point weeks, which is definitely not a bad thing. But Manthai's team is just straight up better, but Greg's team I think matches up a little better this week. And Manthai never starting the right quarterback ticks me off too much to pick him. I've been a Manthai believer the past couple of weeks, and he just keeps losing. So eventually I just gotta take a hint.
Boys, I think we're gonna go 0-3 on this one, but I'm going Greg too.
Yeah. All right, Cade and Lane. Oh, the brotherly love matchup here. Let's go. Cade's clapping Lane here, right? Josh Allen, DJ Moore. He's got a empty wide receiver slot. Mari Cooper can obviously slot into there. But yeah, that flex spot's going to be a bit troublesome because I heard Keon Coleman's probably not going to play this week. Travis Etienne's questionable, and even if he does play, I mean, are you excited to play him against Minnesota? He's probably going to have another 5-point week. Xavier Worthy's unstartable. Jalen Warren, I guess, is your guy. He'll get you 8 points, maybe. I guess he's it, right? If Nico Collins comes back, it's Nico, right? Because they're talking about him potentially being back this week. He's questionable. So obviously, if Nico's back, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
He didn't practice today. You're probably right. Usually Wednesday's a big
projection, so you'd think that would be a good spot for him to play. This feels like a terrible spot to bring him back Sunday night against Detroit.
I know Nico doesn't need to practice to play, but for hammy injuries, you'd love to see it limited on Wednesday. I agree with you, Jake. I'm going to say he doesn't play this week, and he's back against Dallas. So if that's the case, I mean, it's going to be Jalen Warren in the flex, right? I mean, there's nobody else, unless he picks somebody up or makes a trade, obviously. In which case, I mean, it's still a pretty solid team, right? I mean, Saquon's been that guy. Tracy plays the Panthers. He has to start Henry. It's fine, right? But Lane has Jared Goff, who he needs to cut. Amon-Ra, Josh Downs should be pretty good. Derrick Henry's that guy. Yeah, honestly, this is tough. I'm going to go Lane.
If I'm Lane, I'm actually going to take a shot and throw DeAndre Hopkins in there over Devontae Smith. I think that the reason I say Devontae Smith is because I think going up against Dallas, well, there's two ways you can think about this. One is this is the year everyone's just going to beat the shit out of Dallas, and it's fun. That's one thing you can think about. The other one is I don't think they're going to need to score that many points to beat Dallas with
that's a good
Cooper
point.
Rush starting. So you could make the argument that they don't need to use Devontae Smith at all, or they're just going to run the score up on their divisional opponent. So it's one of, but then Saquon's going to be a lot. I don't know. I think Hopkins is worth a shot over Devontae Smith.
I agree that I want Hopkins in. Whether it's Smith or Downs is up to Lane. Dealer's choice there. That's the toss-up for me. Because Buffalo you can run on and not really throw on. But I don't know. I mean, footsteps Flacco. When he plays, Josh Downs is better, right? So he'll get you double digits. Smith has a lower floor in my opinion, but yeah, you might be right. Smith definitely has a higher ceiling though.
Yeah, but after last week, he's not gonna. Hopkins isn't gonna repeat what he did last week, but showed something. Some signs of life.
Probably not repeat what he did last week, but I think his ceiling is at least 20 plus, right? So he's up there. I think he's a safe play. I think he might just be an upgrade over Downs, in all honesty. I know it's not an easy matchup, but I think with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, he's going to get his 6 to 10 targets in his game, right? He's going to catch 80% of those, and he's going to get you double digits. and has an opportunity, of course, for touchdowns, which Downs doesn't really have the same opportunity for touchdowns. Indianapolis is a much worse team. So I don't know. Anyways, I agree. There's some opportunities for Lane to mix it up there, but those are gonna be tough decisions. I mean, especially with guys like Debo back, probably Jordan Addison. Nah, you're not starting him. Yeah, something to think about, I guess. Jake, need your answer.
Can I do if Nico plays Cade? If
no,
no, I can't.
No.
I'm gonna take Lane. I'm gonna take Lane.
You like that, George?
I liked it. I'm also taking Lane.
Oh fuck, we were all threes both times. Not good, boys.
I need Cade to lose. That's why I'm picking Lane.
Yeah,
Sorry,
this is
Cade.
personal. This is personal. Cade only wins if he trades with me. Then I'll change it.
Dude, I've been cursed with Cade ever since I traded with him for Jefferson. I haven't beat that guy in ages, but picking later.
Respect. Last matchup, Lemons and Nick. This is easy, right? This is just Nick B, and it's not close.
Not close.
He finally gets his dub. If Nick loses this game, he's so dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say loser is 100% dead. 100%
Yeah,
dead.
I mean, both these
Loser's
teams
100%.
might be dead anyways, but at least Nick has McCaffrey back, likely. Because McCaffrey slots in there for probably BTJ. Right? Oh, well, Drake London might not play. So if Drake London doesn't play, it's Drake London. Otherwise, it's BTJ. Because Neighbors, you're starting. Pollard's been so good. And Chase Brown, well, Zach Moss went on IR. I know they brought in somebody. Jake, do you remember who they brought in?
Oh my gosh,
They
I don't
traded
remember,
for a running back.
I totally.
It might say in here.
I knew it this morning. I don't remember now.
Somebody I didn't care about. I don't remember who it was, though. Like fraud. Oh, Khalil Herbert. There it is. So,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, Khalil Herbert isn't going to be making an impact, at least not week one. Baltimore's a tough matchup, I guess, but still. Chase Brown's been so involved. I mean, he's catching passes, getting targets. He's that guy for the time being, just a pure volume play. So, yeah, if McCaffrey plays, it's McCaffrey for, one of those wide receivers, and you roll with that. And I'm expecting him to play this week. Even if he doesn't, it's still Nick that wins this game, but that would help, obviously. Because, Lemons' team has an opportunity to pop off on any given week with Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Mostert, Kareem Hunt. Those are some high upside players, but generally speaking, they haven't been doing much. They'll throw somebody in at wide receiver. I guess Quentin Johnston. That's unfortunate. But he played pretty well last week, so maybe he does it again. All right. I assume you guys all have Nick.
Yes.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. I have it all marked down. So the last thing we have to do, gentlemen, is George's favorite segment. Oh, let's
roasted.
Exactly. Jake, I hope you're ready. Let's skip that
I'm
matchup
ready.
quick. Yep.
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to start with Nick. Nick, your defense is looking like it's run by Joe Barry, dude. Clean it up. Brandon more than doubled your score this week. Broke a ton of records.
Boom. Roasted.
Preston, if you would spend more time teaching your players that punching is bad and less time starting CJ Stroud, maybe you'd have some wins. Figure it out.
Boom. Roasted.
Lemons. I think that Wicks actually matches the vibe of your roster. So you know what? I think I'd just leave him in there rest of the season and see where that gets you. 0 points is pretty on brand.
Boom. Roasted.
Last one.
The biggest thing to remember is...
Oh, yes, it is. The biggest thing to remember is that you're dead. You're fucked, Lemons. Holy shit. I don't care how many wins you get rest season. Your team is dead. All right. A little extra roast there, I guess. Jake, the last one. Jake, I think that you owe the league an apology because you are the sole reason that George is not only in first place, but also, and that's bad enough by itself, right? But also, you're the reason that he gets to keep the Justin Jefferson gritty picture, and that's on you. So think about that.
Boom. Roasted.
I have concepts of a plan.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Oh shit. So yeah, I guess that does it for the rewind. Good luck to everybody except for Jake and Brandon. Wrong. I need the Trump wrong.
Yeah, we do.
That's a good button. All right. Yeah. Good luck to everybody except for Jake and Brandon. Good luck to me for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna need it honestly. I'm on a 5-game skid, dude. Cut me some slack.
It's a huge game. It's a big game.
It's not looking good. So, all right. Thanks everyone for listening. We will catch you next week. Hopefully, I'll be 4-6. That would be big. And George, you know what? If you're 8-2, I'll be very happy for you, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by, George. Always a pleasure. We're out of here. Catch you next week, everybody.